Hello guys, another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at the long-awaited, long-anticipated return of the creators of series such as Bakumon and Deathnote. They've come back together to create another monthly series called Platinum End to do with angels. It's a monthly series, so there's a lot of content. So without further ado, let's go straight into it. Now, there's been 3 chapters released so far. Should be a cover of chapter 1 and the prologue. The prologue was introduced a few weeks earlier, a month early in fact, with the first 8 slides, pages, panels. In any case, the chapter basically covers. It starts off with it's in a classroom of a high school, the third year, first classroom. People are graduating happy because of that. There's one person who doesn't really seem happy at all. He's depressed. He goes shopping, and then he jumps off a building. This guy's name is Kakehashi Mirai. He's saved by an angel. Now he's got a sad life, pretty much because when he was young, his family died in an accident. He had to live with his aunt and uncle, and they basically treated him like a slave. They beat him. He had to live in the cupboard. He could only eat while he was at work. Once he finished first school, he had to get a job, and they took all the money. So, re-explaining all this to him, the angel says, "I can give you freedom and love, freedom to fly wherever you want in the world, faster than anything else with these wings, and a red arrow that gives you the chance to, whoever you hit with this arrow will effectively be in love with you for 30 days." And normally they word it that specific way because it gives the person a choice. He goes, "Oh, I don't really know what to choose, can I have both?" And he doesn't really mean it, he's not really thinking about it, he's just thinking, okay, whatever. And she gives him the chance for both. So he gets his ringlets on his neck and his wrists, and he goes, "You can have both. But what's done cannot be undone." So once he's got that ability, it can't be done. Because then you'll be chosen it'll be a candidate to be chosen for God. So the ring and the wrist give him the ability to shoot the red arrow, and the ring around the neck gives him the chance to fly his wings. Now he has to use his imagination and the imagination of his heart to be able to do so. First he falls, and then he thinks about it, and he sprouts his wings, and then he flies, and he ends up on I think it's the Empire State Building in New York. So he's going all the way around the world, I believe. I think that's where they're trying. It's a tall building basically, and she's like, "I'm surprised you could do it so quickly. Look, I wasn't scared to jump off a building. This is nothing." So she explains about that her being an angel. There's no such things as devils other than the devils that lie within a human's heart. And she explains that some truth that lie within humans, for example, that the auntie and the uncle that he lives with actually killed his parents for money. So he doesn't believe this. She goes, "Okay, we'll go find out." So he shoots his auntie with the arrow, and she confesses to everything. She basically says, "My father had a lot of money, and my husband, which is his uncle through marriage, basically said kill them so they can take all the money." And then they took the kid in so they can have the insurance money. So then he goes, "Yeah, thinking about it, that's right, because they were nice to me at the beginning. Once the money came in, they basically were nasty to me." So after that he goes, "Oh, I just wish you'd go die." So what she do? Stabs herself in the neck and dies. He literally just dies in front of him. It just took me by surprise. And he goes, "Yeah, that's how powerful the arrow is. If you tell someone to go die and you've shot them with the arrow, they will happily go die." And then she explains to him that her name is Nacha. I forgot that. Was it Nancha? Nacha, her name is, right? And the idea behind it is the original god is dying. The god in this case, tradition states that 13 angels will go select 13 people, and one of the 13 will be selected as the next god with refreshing energy. Once that person is chosen, the one that found them, the angel, will become on like the right hand side, and that's where it ends. Anyway, that's all for me today, guys. Part 2 will just continue straight after this. Just need to break in the video. Cheers. Hello, welcome back to Clues, Cues and Reviews, and this is section 2 because of chapter 2 of Platinum End. If you got this far into the video, you've already seen chapter 1. Moving into chapter 2, we're going to look at the second monthly release, moving straight into it, and it's called A Man's Instinct. So we already know that from the last chapter, he's basically realized about his auntie. She killed herself. He's got the powers. He realizes the actual worth of life, and he wants to live now. So Nacha, the angel's name, wants to be there for the happiness of Mirai Takashi. And initially the chapter starts off with him sleeping. As a pleasant dream, he's making a drawing, and his mother's there wanting to see that. Basically says to the mother, you know you can only see it when it's finished, but it turns into a nightmare with his dead auntie coming back to life, pulling the knife out through her neck, wanting to kill him. He wakes up and the angel is there saying, you've only slept for an hour, are you okay? He goes, I'm fine. He goes, you haven't really used your red arrow since you shot the innkeeper. At which point he basically said, look, I've got no money. The only reason I'm able to stay here is because I shot him with the arrow. And what he's looking for is real happiness. So she says, if you want to be happy, then just do what you need to do. Because no, my mother said that in order to be happy, everyone should be happy. Because if you're the only one that's happy, you won't be happy. So then he gets told about the God selection candidate situation, 13 candidates. He doesn't really believe in. He goes, look, I don't want to be a God. I want normal happiness. I want a normal life. I want to meet the love of my life. I want to get married, have kids, to replace the family that I lost. Go to school, get a normal job. That's pretty much all he wants to do. In any case, she instructs him, if you want money, why don't you just kill your uncle and the kids? They took your money anyway. And he goes, no, I don't really want to do that. The kids never really did anything, although they technically bully him and beat him up. And he only ever wants to use the red arrow on the uncle to give himself up. She wants to say, she goes, oh, let's go do it now. He goes, no, I've got to study for school, let me do that first. So he studies for school and he's making a serious attempt to get into high school. He wants to study and do his thing. Meanwhile, he sees on TV a guy called Rodriguez is dating like 5 celebrities, an actor, a model, a volleyball player, and everything else. And he can see that there's an angel behind him. So his name is Rodriguez, he's a comedian, and he is in fact also a God candidate. So it turns out that basically he is abusing his power, and she explains a bit more about the red arrow. She says you basically have, regardless of the actual person, you've got 100% chance of hitting the intended target, but basically you've got 33 days maximum with that person, on which that person needs to fall in love with you for you to be in love with them for the rest of your life. And then you find out from Rodriguez being a dirty pervert rapist / sicko that the maximum people you can do it with is 14, even though he wanted to do 42. There's an interesting thing that we get introduced in this chapter is the white arrow, a 100% sure kill way of killing someone peacefully and instantly. And lo and behold, someone opens his door, he's in the back of a limousine, and it basically looks, first of all, like the Stig from Top Gear, but then it also kind of looks like a black suited version of Thor with a helmet. But that guy basically just pulls on a white arrow, stabs him, and kills him, which means there's only 12 candidates left. So with that being said, Mirai ends up giving him his application, and he's going to go to study. And then he hears about the news that Rodriguez is dead. And then you can see a conversation between angels saying, look, if he's over so soon, that's fine, I can just chill, but I'm interested in the guy that's killing these people. And then it flashes to that person, and he's got like wavy hair. It looks like he's probably gonna have lights like hair. Looks like a bit of a psycho, and he thinks to himself, "This ought to be interesting. I've just got to kill 11 more people and now become the god." And that's how it ends. So quite a lot of content to go through over there. Of course, an interesting second chapter. I can't wait to see what happens. We also get an interesting tidbit to end this on. The reason why he goes to the school, bless him, is a girl called Saki Hanagako, a girl that goes to school, and the girl that he's in love with. Now that's the one girl that he doesn't want to use the red arrow on. He wants her to fall in love with him naturally. So it's a good motivation. So he's got love in his life, so he knows who he wants to be with, have a family with, spend the rest of his life with. We will have to wait and see what happens in chapter 3. That's all from today on this video. I'll see you in a bit for chapter 3. So chapter 3, Platinum End. Here we go. Let's get this sorted out. What we know so far. He's got his powers. We know there's 13 candidates that all have similar type of abilities. We know he now values life and he wants to go back to life. He's in love with a girl called Saki, and he wants to go to high school. Just happens to be the same place she goes to. Brewing romance? I don't know. An interesting part as well is they've expanded the number of pages to 65, so you know what that means, right? More content for you and I. In any case, let's get into it. So, chapter 3 of
Platinum End. It's called A Hero's Justice. It starts off with a character getting the suit, the same suit of the person who killed Rodriguez in chapter 2. And the person he's speaking to says basically, yes, there's 3 other versions of these, and he goes, I'm going to use this suit to become a god. So that's how it starts. So he flies off, and it's now April the 6th. So time has passed since the last chapter, and things are starting to move on. So we knew that Mirai Kakehashi wanted to go to high school. We knew he handed in his application. He had an entrance exam. He has now passed that exam. He's going to the high school now. He will be going to the high school. And he shot his uncle with a red arrow. He gave himself in. He basically got all his money back, from, the inheritance money, the insurance money, and things like that. Nese or Nacha, whichever the translation is, basically is happy about it. Everything's going so well, and he's like, all right, that's fine, don't worry about it. So as this is going on, there's a news report on TV, and a guy wearing a Metropolitan suit says, I'm Metropolitan, or I'm a man wearing his suit. Metropolitan more than likely was some type of TV action hero, similar to like the Power Rangers or Ultraman in Japan, or a movie type of action star. So he basically says, I'm a hero, and he's having an interview where he's saved some people from bank robbers. So he's kind of doing commentary. So he's explaining that he had to convince the police that he was a hero, so he flew around them, but what he actually was doing was shooting them with the red arrow. So he charmed them, so they let him go in. So as he was going in, they were warning him that, look, don't come any further, we'll shoot you, because there was like a hostage situation at the bank. They wanted money and escape out. So as one of the bank robbers tried shooting him, using his speed, he dodged the opponent, stabbed him with the red arrow, and got him to give himself up. So he gave himself up. He goes, look, I was happy. He was gonna give himself up. But then the second bank robber, using a shotgun, tried shooting this guy, and inadvertently shot the guy that gave up, killing his partner. So he dodged this, and he was like, oh, I felt embarrassed I had to dodge it being a hero, and he retaliated by going back in. Now, he said, I used my Metropolitan arrow, but in the situation I hesitated and accidentally killed him because I couldn't control my power. This is a blatant lie, and this is what his angel says, is because there's no such thing. He had the intention to kill him with the white arrow to begin with. That was the idea. So he makes himself out to be an actual hero, and then after the interview you see him talking to his angel, and he's that same guy at the end of chapter 2 who wants to kill all the 11 candidates, and he's a high schooler, so there's a good chance he's going to end up in the same high school more than likely, or a nearby high school where Mirai Kakehashi is going or Saki is going. Now this affects Mirai. Now the one thing that this guy mentions specifically is that there's 11 evildoers in this earth. I want peace for the world. When I kill these people, then there will be peace. So what he really means is he wants to kill all the other god candidates. So he thinks to himself, Mirai gets scared, he goes, listen, get away from me quickly before this guy realizes that I'm a candidate, and he runs off home. Running off home, he makes a plan. He does definitely want to go to school. The angel will keep her distance while gathering intel. He'll pretend to blend in. So he goes to school. Going to school, he's walking through normally, and he notices an angel. He thinks, shit, an angel, what do I do? She hasn't seen me. I'll put my head down and carry on. What he doesn't realize is the angel has recognized that he's noticed her, and does a complete 180, so they're face to face, her flying upside down. She goes, you recognized me, didn't you? This isn't the first time you've seen an angel. But just to let you know, another god candidate comes to this school, and she's right behind you. So he turns around, and guess who's god candidate? Yeah. Fate has dealt him a cold hand. It turns out to be Saki. The girl he's in love with goes to the same high school as him, is god candidate. To make matters worse, she stabs him with an arrow. Now the arrow doesn't look like a white arrow. It has some shading, so I'm thinking it's a red arrow, but it doesn't look like a red arrow. Bearing in mind they do look very similar. So the only way we're gonna find out which one's the case is we're gonna have to wait till the next chapter, and that's how it bloody ends. I'm excited. I am loving this. This kind of thing gets me. Or if you keep an open mind, you like the supernatural, the ghoulish Death Note type of thing, this is a manga for you. So we're looking forward to that. as far as the episode or the chapter reads that I'm reading, they tend to come out quite early in the month, but they get translated towards the middle. So by the time this video comes out, which I'm planning for around Monday, they should be released on the 10th, which gives me a couple of days for Platinum End to come out, and then we can watch that and review that. So you'll see that coming very soon. So for now, please like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy. You'll enjoy this video, and hopefully you can see more Platinum End reviews from me. Cheers. Bye.